Jamunatira Vanachari Jayaradha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivarada Yasudhandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasudhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Asto Tathatat Sistemas Divine Grace His Companionship A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Asto Tathatat Sistemas Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavina Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Pram Si Kahao Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Se Gorka Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mathura Dham Ki Jai Mayapanavadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannapuri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Sama Veda Bhakta Vina Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the sum of devotees, all glories to the sum of devotees, all glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to Sister Gaura Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasa Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nastapaye Sabhadesu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhakti Bhavaiti Naistiki. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, Text 37, Text 37. Title of this chapter is Hiranyakasipu Terrorizes the Universe. Nyasta Kridanako Balu Jadawatan Manastaya Krishna Graha Grihitatma Naveda Jagat Idrisham Nyastat Kridanako Balu Jadawatan Manastaya Krishna Graha Grihitatma Naveda Jagat Idrisham Nyastat Kridanako Balo Jadawatan Manastaya Krishna Graha Grihitatma Naveda Jagadidrisham. Can someone try?
Nyasta Kridanako Balo Jadavattan Manastaya Krishna Graha Grihitatma Naveda Jagadidrisham Nyasta Kridanako Balo Jadavattan Manastaya Krishna Graha Grihitatma Naveda Jagadidrisham
Anyone of Mataji's to try? So what translation? Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Confounded Acharya, Srila Abhacharya Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nyasta, having given up, Kridanakaha, all sportive activities and tendencies for childhood play. Balaha, a boy, Jadavat, as if dull, without activities. Tat manastaya, by being fully absorbed in Krishna. Krishna graha, by Krishna, who is like a strong influence. Like a graha or planetary influence. Grihita Atma, whose mind was fully attracted. Na, not. Veda, understood. Jagat, the entire material world. Idrisham, like this. Translation: from the very beginning of his childhood, Prahlad Maharaj was uninterested in childish playthings. Indeed, he gave them up altogether and remained silent and dull, being fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Since his mind was always affected by Krishna consciousness, he could not understand how the world goes on, being fully absorbed in the activities of sense gratification. Please kindly respond but repeat. From the very beginning of his childhood, Prahlad Maharaj was uninterested in childish playthings. Indeed, he gave them up altogether and remained silent and dull, being fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Since his mind was always affected by Krishna consciousness, he could not understand how the world goes on, being fully absorbed in the activities of sense gratification. Purport: Prahlad Maharaj is a vivid example of a great person fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 8, text 274, it is said, Stavara Jagama Deke, Nadeke Taramuti, Sawatra Haya Nija Ista Deva Spurti. A fully Krishna conscious person, although situated in this material world, does not see anything but Krishna anywhere and everywhere. This is the sign of a Mahabhagavata. The Mahabhagavata sees Krishna everywhere because of his attitude of pure love for Krishna. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.38, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santaha Sadeva Rida Yesu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindam Adipursam Tamaham Bhajami. Translation: I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shyamasundara, situated within the heart of the devotee. An exalted devotee or Mahatma, who is rarely to be seen, remains fully conscious of Krishna and constantly sees the Lord within the core of his heart. It is sometimes said that when one is influenced by evil stars like Saturn, Rahu, or Ketu, He cannot make advancement in any prospective activity. In just the opposite way, Prahlad Maharaj was influenced by Krishna, the supreme planet. And thus he could not think of the material world and live without Krishna consciousness. That is a sign of a Mahabhagavat. Even if one is an enemy of Krishna, a Mahabhagavat sees him to be always engaged in Krishna's service. Another crude example is that everything appears yellow to the jaundiced eye. Similarly, to a Mahabhagavat, everyone but himself appears to be engaged in Krishna's service. Prahlad Maharaj is the approved Mahabhagavat, the supreme devotee. In the previous verse, it was stated that he had natural attachment. Nesagiti natihi. The symptoms of such natural attachment for Krishna are described in this verse. Although Prahlad Maharaj was only a boy, he had no interest in playing. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, chapter 2, text 42. Virakti ayantacha, the symptom of a perfect Krishna consciousness is that one loses interest in all material activities. For a small boy to give up playing is impossible. But Prahlad Maharaj, being situated in first-class devotional service, was always absorbed in trance of Krishna consciousness. Just as a materialistic person is always absorbed in thoughts of material gain, a Mahabhagavat like Prahlad Maharaj is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyana Jana Salakaya Saksur Malitam Jena Tasmai Sigurave Namaha Sachaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutali Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandiham Si Gurum Si Yutapadakavam Si Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Si Rupam Sagrajatam Saha Gana Ragunatam Vitamtam Sajivam Sadveta Sarvaduta Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sirada Krishna Pada Saha Gana Lalita Sibisha Kambitam Cha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodato Gudadaya Puspavanto Chitu Chandu Tamam Anchakalpatari Becha Kripasami Becha Patitanam Pavanam Yo Vaishnava Bhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhaktale Semate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itinam Namaste Saraswati Deva Gaura Vani Pacharine Nirvises Sonya Badi Pasata Disatari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So, again, I'd like to welcome everyone who's coming to participate in this segment of the morning program, the class. People in general in Kali Yoga, we are not interested in sitting down to listen lectures. That's why Even in universities, there's a very limited people go to school. Small number of people go to school, not interested in learning, sitting down and listening. For what? Because our attention span is so low in Kali Yuga that we're not interested in anything that requires concentration. So thank you for coming. In this text, a lot of elucidation of Prahlad's glories. Living here as a child, the kids, they like to play around. You want to punish a child, don't buy him toys or don't buy her toys. And you see a trouble. You hearing this? Toys, very important. Child likes to play. But Prahlad did not play with toys. If you go to some homes, some of these children, they have a whole room full of toys. To be engaged. The idea of toys is to engage a child, because if you don't engage them, then they can engage themselves in something disastrous in the home. They could wreak havoc. So parents have to be very expert in engaging their children, buy them many toys. But Prahlad has no business with toys. From his early age, he was absorbed in Krishna. Just like the little kid is absorbed in playing with toys. They're so absorbed in playing. Or playing with their classmates, or playing with their peers. Sometimes the children, they're playing with their peers, you call them in for food, they ignore you. They won't come. So Bhadam Prahlad was completely opposite. He ignored everything that has to do with child plays. And his play was Krishna consciousness. So that's the good one. But it's described that he is a Mahabhagavata. That is why he has these distinctive characteristics. So it's a high coefficient devotional value can only be attributed to the Mahabhagavata. Mahabhagavata does not see any difference between a dog eater, a cow. No. Because for them, the only person who is not Krishna consciousness, the Mahabhagavata, is me. I'm the one who is not. Everybody else is perfect, Krishna conscious. And therefore they don't find any fault with anybody in the world. They don't find fault with anybody in the world. Because their introspection is purely on how they evaluate themselves. Although they are so high in terms of their Krishna consciousness realizations, but they always consider themselves to be a low-profile person. Low-profile person. So we can see, as soon as somebody is making that, hey, I'm so big now. I'm so advanced. I'm the senior, okay? We know that they have a problem. Have a problem purifying the heart. Because the highly evolved devotee sees himself or herself as nothing. Sees himself or herself as everyone is better than them. So if you see yourself as everyone is better than you, why is the question of, the phenomenological mindset? It doesn't come. It doesn't arise. So we evaluate people. How much they advance means how much they have considered themselves the lowest of everyone else. This is the intricacy of devotional service. So anybody can wake up and chant 108 rounds. And don't look at me and say, what do you mean? Yeah, there are people who chant 108 rounds even in our movement. In Mayapur, there's a small group of brahmacharis. All of them, they chant 64 rounds every day. Their group leader chants 108 rounds. Yeah. So, bottom line is that Prahlad and Mahabhagavat, we may find fault with people. I mean, it's like I was telling this story, I think yesterday, about this devotee in New York. He was formerly Prabhupada's servant. And then he blooped. And then when he started showing up, he was very blasphemous of Prabhupada. Talk all type of ills against Prabhupada. So one day he came to the temple and many devotees gathered. So he asked the devotee that he was having some type of talks with. He said, what's going on? He asked, what's going on? Oh, Prabhupada is coming. Said, okay. So they were there, and then Prabhupada came, and a crowd of devotees were there. This is not about the time of Prahlad Maharaj, long, yugas ago. And this is not that time. This is not long yugas ago. No, just recently. Recently in the terms of when Prabhupada was in the West. So this devotee has blown. He was being blasphemous of Prabhupada. When Prabhupada arrived, he looked in the crowd and he spotted this devotee, his servant. And he walked straight to him. He passed all the group of the devotees. He walked straight to him and requested him to cook for him. And the devotees, they reacted. Prabhupada, he's not following. He blasphemes you. He does this. He does this. Prabhupada acted as if he did not hear what his devotees were saying about this guy. He asked him again, can you come and cook for me? This is Mahabhagavat. He was not judgmental. We are judgmental. We find only the fault in people. We don't see what they have done. For us, see, I want to meet with, I used to have some meetings with, when I was young, I used to have some meetings with all these reverend fathers. I used to go to the seminary and to their centers to speak with them. And one time I went to this seminary. I was speaking with I was having some dialogue with one reverend father, and he asked me about how our system works. Okay. In the Catholic, they also have big problems with their priests, okay? Falling down and pushing them here and there. They don't throw them off like we. So he said, if somebody, violates your devotional integrity, what happens? In other words, if someone falls down, if some of your priests fall down, what do you people do? I said, oh, he's gone for good. But he looked at me with surprise. He said, you people are wicked. But he doesn't understand that. That's the standard. So we find that some people may even judge us. But you see, the beauty of Krishna consciousness is that we have a standard. And if you fall below that standard, then, go by the sideline. When you're driving on the expressway, people on the they go at the jet speed. If you have to go slow, you have to go by the side. So sometimes people don't want to understand that. And sometimes we emphasize standard over everything else. The standard should be for ourselves. But for other people, we should be compassionate. That is the mode of the Mahabhagavat. But we should not pretend to be Mahabhagavats. Neither. Or this guy is smoking, all that you can go and cook. I mean, Mahabhagavat. No. That should be a standard, okay? So, Prahlad Maharaj, let's talk about Prahlad Maharaj. Who was Prahlad Maharaj in his past life, previous existence? Now, in the Brihad Nrsimha Purana, it's mentioned, also in the Padma Purana, it's mentioned about Prahlad. In Prahlad, you see, he shows an exalted personality. A number of the Puranas, they talked about him, not only in the Bhagavatam. If someone is being talked about in several other literature, several other versions of literature, then he's a popular guy. He's famous and popular. But otherwise, his lila, his story could just be embedded in just one book. And you don't find it in another one. But Prahlad, in Brian Nrsimha Purana, in the Bhagavatam, in the Padma Purana, it's all over the place. You want to be popular, becoming Mahabhagavat. People sometimes work so hard, they want to be popular. Just becoming Mahabhagavat. But to become a Mahabhagavat, it's not so juicy. It's not so easy. It's not like you go to the mall and then buy some, organic pomegranate juice and you're enjoying it. No. It requires a lot of austerities. So Prahlad also performed some austerities. Let's be straight with ourselves. He performed some austerities. There is, nothing good that comes easy. Nothing good that comes easy. You want to be an achiever, even materially, you have to work so hard. You may not attain that climax of your desire immediately, maybe in the next life. So Prahlad's case was like that. So it is documented. Even Rupa Goswami mentioned some things about Prahlad in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita. And so it's documented in the Puranas, Brihad Nrsimha Purana and Padma Purana, how Prahlad in his previous life was one of the sons of Vishnu Sharma. Vishnu Sharma was a very high, talented, learned Brahmin. He had 5 kids, including Prahlad. 4 of his kids were very, very astute, devotionally astute, with high spiritual intelligent quotient. So they were focused, dedicated. But Prahlad, no. He was Vasudev in his previous life. So he had a connection. He likes to enjoy. Vasudev, he likes to enjoy. Former Vasudev. So he liked to enjoy. He was in love with one beautiful, super beautiful girl, but a prostitute. So one day, that was Sriman Chaturdasi, Eve. And so they were hanging out together. Boyfriend and girlfriend were hanging out together. Boyfriend and girlfriend is a common thing all over the world, isn't it? Sometimes people hear some certain things in the Vedic literature, they say, what? You mean these things are also in your literature? In Vedic literature, the stories are not necessarily, and every story is not purely devotional. It's just some of the stories are there to teach us some lessons. It's not like, devotional leader with Lord Krishna. So Prahlad, Vasudev, he had a girlfriend. And so this day, that was Srimad Chaturdasi, they had met. And somehow or the other, what happens sometimes, man and woman, they come together and they couldn't really enjoy, they just quarrel. That happened in that way that day. So they had some type of altercations, verbal altercations. They couldn't have fun. So they even because of the verbal altercations, they couldn't even really do anything, and they stay up awake all through the night. But involuntarily. And they couldn't eat. If you're bitter, you can't eat, Oh yeah. If you're really bitter, you can't eat. So if you are hungry, that is a beauty. It means consciousness is clear. If you really engulf in bitterness, you don't feel hungry. For you, 1 hour is like 12 hours. So Prahlad and his girlfriend, they didn't sleep the whole night. And they didn't eat also the whole day. Because lovers are at loggerhead. No one feels enthused to do anything to fill their bellies. So happened that they performed this austerity involuntarily. They didn't know what they were doing. It's not that they knew that today is the Srimad Chaturdasi, we have to fast. No. It's just that they had a fight. They were bitter with each other. So both of them didn't eat. But because of that fasting, Lord Sringadev bestowed his mercy on Prahlad. In fact, Prahlad even asked Sringadev during his encounter with Sringadev that, but, how did I come close like this to you? Then he gave this story that in a past life, he did like this. Yeah. So don't undermine fasting days. Don't undermine the holy days. Sometimes we are unenthused about performing austerities because we think, this person performed austerities, did this, but look, he fell down. This person did this, but he couldn't stay. This person did this, austerities. No. No austerity is wasted. Again, no austerity is wasted. There is no loss or diminution, Lord Krishna mentions, on the part of Bhakti. So whatever we perform, it goes into our spiritual bank account. So we should not undermine the laid down principles of austerity in the Vedic literature. So the point is that Prahlad, there's an elaborate purport here. Prabhupada has given an elaborate purport about the qualifications or the symptoms of a Mahabhagavat. And the essential factor is that the Mahabhagavat sees Krishna everywhere because of his attitude of pure love for Krishna. He sees Krishna everywhere. In the dog, in the elephant, in the humans. In fact, if people attain this type of status in life, there will be no wars. No wars. No quarrels. No altercation. You see, there are so many peace initiatives in the world, but none of them actually had worked. After the First World War, the League of Nations was established just to be able to facilitate peaceful coexistence in the world. Then the Second World War cropped up. So it didn't hold. And now we're looking forward towards, there are already many wars on the planet. So our peace initiatives, our material peace initiatives are themselves not sufficient. If we don't have that equal vision, that spiritual vision, what Krishna mentions in the Gita about equal vision. The pure devotee has equal vision. He sees everybody equally. It treats his peers, it treats the dependents, it treats his superiors, all of them with dignity. This is not high-tech science. You don't need to go and get a PhD in calculus to understand this. It's simple stuff. Issue is that of implementation of what we hear, the ABC we hear in Krishna consciousness. We just need to implement that. What is that ABC? Krishna mentions this in the Gita itself. Mama evam so jiva loke. We are all parts and parcels of Krishna. Krishna hinted this symptom of the Mahabhagavat in the Bhagavad Gita. Are we able to see each and everybody as part and parcel of Krishna? If we can do that, there will be no altercations. There will be peace. Perfect peace. Oh, yeah. So, our books are giving the strategies for global peace, strategies for peaceful coexistence, interpersonal coexistence, strategies for peaceful family building. If you are able to see each and every one as part and parcel of Krishna, would you dare tell your wife, shut up there? You cannot do that. And sometimes people, the men, they don't want to hear this. This guy, are you a feminist? Sometimes you talk some things and then people ask you. Because I think everybody should be at facilitating the suppression of women. But see, we want growth in our countries. We want growth in our communities. We should act and see things like the Mahabhagavats. We may not be there yet, but we should act. See, one of the major symptoms of advancement in spiritual life is character development. Someone has been chanting for many years. They have developed character. They are humble. They don't say, well, I am the greatest of all. No. So, and we have this tendency a lot. First of all, we think we are the only people who know about God. We, the Hare Krishnas, we are the best. Yeah, we tend to think like that. We think we are the best, okay? And we is called, we are these. We are the superhumans. We are the real best. And anybody who is not part of us is a Maya. The Mahabhagavat does not think like that. That's my point here. The Mahabhagavat does not act or think in that way. They see Krishna everywhere. You don't see class. They don't see organization. They see Krishna everywhere. They don't see cooperation. They see Krishna. They don't see even the body. They see Krishna everywhere. And this is a sure way. You see, each time you check the internet, people are always fighting. They're always fighting. Like in America, it's so easy. I mean, some people say, the immigrants, no, we don't want them. Some people say, No, you are all immigrants. Only the red Indians are the local people here. There's always fighting. Why? Because the whole identification is based on the body. Yeah. So the Mahabhagavata, this vision is not based on the body. He has a high vision, high spiritual realization, and therefore he sees Krishna everywhere. Everybody is his beloved. And that's why those devotees in New York, they were shocked. They reacted openly to Prabhupada. Oh, this guy, he's not following. He's blaspheming you. But Prabhupada is not on our level. His vision is different. The vision of Imam Bhagavad. And a lot, his text, especially this chapter, is fully loaded. Of course, every page of the Bhagavatam is fully loaded. But these are the practical applications in our everyday reality. How to interact with each other, how to interact with people. As soon as we think we are superior, better than you, because I've been there for this number of years before you, because I went to this school, because I have a PhD, because I'm a Swami, because I'm a guru, because I'm a brahmachari. Oh, you're in trouble. Oh, yeah. So that's not the vision of Imam Bhagavad. So we have to adjust our mindsets. We are maladjusted. I'm sorry to say this. Majority of us are adjusted. And maladjustment is a serious thing. That is one of the main causes of conflicts on the planet. Conflicts in the family, conflicts in interpersonal relationships. People are so maladjusted. So we have to try to build up a framework where we are acting on the basis of spirituality, devotional culture. And devotional culture implies that we see each and everybody around us as parts and parcels of Krishna. Any comments or questions? Yes.
There was a reference of opinion done in Holland by students, university students, and they were examining different religions and streams and philosophies in Holland. And then they made a table of the best philosophies, which religions have the best philosophies. And they also did a list of best social structure and different things they did. When it came to philosophy, Hare Krishna was on top.
Good.
When it came social, they were at the bottom. So the university students discovered that our social structures failed.
Yeah.
But in philosophy, we can give the best answers. We have good answers to every question.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a very good comment. He's talking about research. So this is not something that this is what I'm saying. We think we are the best. But in action, in social development, in fact, even in our values, in our attitudes, we have a highfalutin philosophy. The majority of us are not able to act on that philosophy. In other words, majority of us are not practitioners of Krishna consciousness. There are two things you can think of. See, you go to medical school, you got your MBBS, you got your medical degree, you have to go and specialize to become an MD. Then you can practice medicine. If you go to law, if you study law, you have to go to law school and get a certification to practice law. Then if you're practicing, then you're called a legal practitioner. If you're practicing medicine, after you go through all of these processes, then you're called a medical practitioner. We just say, We claim everything. I'm happy. Anutam brought up this. We just claim every damn thing. But in practice, people are studying us. People are studying us. I mean, just like the Maha Mantra. So many researchers have studied the Maha Mantra on different levels. We may not even know what we are doing. So, yeah, it's important that we set up our systems. See, in knowledge, in acquisition of knowledge, we have, this might be too something, it's not, I wouldn't say it's not too sophisticated. I know this is something I studied when I was doing my PhD. But in knowledge, we have what we call the theoretical framework or the model, which is the theory. Aham Brahmasmi, Dehi Nosmi Yata Dehi, Kumara Yavanam Jara. These are the models. Krishna's two Bhagavan Swayam. These are the models or the theoretical frameworks. Then the commentaries of the acharyas. These are the contemporary studies of the models. Then the third level is the application, the integration of the theoretical frameworks and the contemporary commentaries. That's where it is difficult. So we have this high philosophy, but people come close to us, they find out. So thank you very much, Anutam, for that contribution.
I have another question regarding this.
Okay.
It has been an ongoing point. We observe our society, and probably even left the world saying that I've only half the world, or national is not being established. That's supposed to be our social structure. Now, it is like you look at senior devotees, and they do the best, but there's always kind of a little snake under there. Is that you have to follow the Vorträge principles. And you can never predict any time you might slip or make a mistake there. And then everything is taken away. So your position, your money, and you're out. Then on what basis do devotees feel secure in the society? Because the rule is set like that you mentioned, that if you follow from the standard, then you're not there anymore. There have been attempts like that, but that was Swami in my book, for those who cannot follow Vorträge principles, and they only follow three-dimensional principles, that they have some kind of recognition, like Gauradesh, or things like, like Bhakti Thakur had this self-preaching thing. But, as I have seen, it didn't come off the ground or something. We still went in the same way. If we bring in Varnashram, and you have the Kshatriyas, they go and follow three-dimensional principles, or whatever it is. And then you have Vaishyas, and you have different things. Unless we do that, I don't think we can have people being able to remain in the society for lifelong, following their own jati, like their own standard of living in society. But basically, it's going to still on Brahminical level. That means following the principle, 16 hours. You don't do that, you're Brahminical. You're out. It's true, you're not Brahmin, but you have something that they're not completely nothing about.
Thank you. You know what? Why I'm laughing? I'm reflecting on my life when I joined the movement. Because when I joined the movement, there are certain things I did not accept in this philosophical thesis that I did not accept. One of them was the idea that you put all our children in Gurukul. And I questioned them. I was in my middle 20s when I joined, 25. And I questioned the devotees that this thing you are talking about, you mean all the children born in this movement, they have to be pujaris? Because there was no provisions for even those who are well, who have a culture of high intellectuality to be able to pursue different skills, develop their skills in different ways to be able to help the society. But we want big people. Okay? We want doctors to be part of our movement. We want this to be part of our movement. But we are not making provisions for those type of facilities for our children. We want everyone to be a pujari. But not everyone is not a Brahmin. Everyone is not born with those traits. So I did not accept that idea of just teaching people only Krishna consciousness, and then at maybe when they are 10 years or whatever years. And we have seen that these boys who went to the Gurukul, I work with, I sat with a number of them in New Jersey, in America. Yeah, so we lack that practical vision of implementing the thesis of the Vedic literature. So yes, what you're saying is correct. Except we institute the Vanashram, we may lose so many people. Yeah. And Prabhupada wanted us to institute the Vanashram. I think one of these Swamis, Bhakti Raghava, he's one of these Swamis who's been a driving force in that field. Well, that's not my area, so I don't really know much about the development. But I know that that is a very important factor, and that is why, like my system of even accepting disciples, I have a standard. I don't follow ISKCON. I mean, the general standard of ISKCON. I have additional standard, so that the devotee can be of more use to themselves in the future, in helping to contribute to the expansion of Krishna consciousness in different ways. But in the past, we've been like straight jacket thinkers, straight jacket thinking, like this. Okay? But everybody is not going to be able to have that capacity to have that straight jacket thinking and implementation. So yes, your observation is very correct, and a number of other people have also mentioned this. The leaders of our society, they need to be practical. I said they because I'm not a policy maker in ISKCON. Okay.
Actually, when I asked a similar question, Gurijan Prabhu was there in Vrindavan in the class because he's a teacher. He said this, I asked him actually the question, he was giving a class, he said that one thing he said, Prabhupada wasn't very impractical. He actually said, we should teach our children also biochemistry, physics, all these things.
Okay, see.
So he said, I don't know if it's documented, but Prabhupada disciples had a lot of personal instructions which are not documented. So Prabhupada was one of them. And you're talking about Bhakti Swami. I spoke to him personally in my foot when he was there, the one-legged Swami. And yes, I understand, he's trying to make an agricultural-based varnashram. But now, as I'm traveling in India, and having also a Western cultural background, plus Indian background, I've studied varnashram. Varnashram can also be city varnashram, and nobody talks about that. In the Vedic times, when we made the big cities, and they were also functioning. Now, because why I'm saying this, because most of us are coming from.
Yudhishthira was staying in the city.
Sorry?
Yudhishthira was in the city. Yudhishthira was in the city, so he was not in the farmland. So I mean, I'm confirming what you're saying.
Yeah, so I was trying to discuss with Bhakti Swami that you made a farm community, but even if you're not a Vaishya, you want to be a businessman in the city, then what? Because there are Vedic cities, like Jaipur is a Vedic city, Madurai is a Vedic city, and in modern times,
Sure.
flourishing. So that should also be part of your varnashram. And then I think we can facilitate many more, like people who are into business or luxuries, and because living on agricultural field, like a Gauradesh, it's austere. When it snows outside and the heater is broken, you have to wear 3 pairs of socks, and sweaters 3, and then I'm standing Mangalarti,
Which place is this?
Gauradesh.
Okay.
I'm talking way back, 95, 96 when I joined.
Okay.
Sometimes it happened like now I have a good hearing system there. But I'm talking, it's so city living. There is a reason why people want to shift from agricultural life to city life. Fungus growing here and there, and it's wet, it's cold, mice running here and there. It's all part of our national life. It's all part of agricultural field. So I spoke with Maharaj and yes, I respect what you're doing. It's very good, making all pressing machines and blue energy, all these things. That's agricultural based. It's village based. What about the city? And he didn't have any idea about that. So there is also scope for having a city. So see if Mayapur can do that, or maybe Kurukshetra can be the next city where it's a good city plan and things function. Because in the cities there are different quarters for the Brahmins, for the Kshatriyas. Even in Sri Lanka, if you go there, it was established by Ramanujacharya. Like the inner four walls is for the Brahmins, and for the outer varnas after the four walls. So even that system has been there. And it's way back, like Ramanuja is like 1,200 years ago. He kind of established Varnashram in the Sri Lanka, the headquarters of the Sri Vaishnavas.
Yeah, I think that, I resonate with all that you are saying.
But the thing is, it is not so difficult. We're just talking a lot. You just make a structure. Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Now, anybody coming to ISKCON can try out. I want to, try this Brahma, I've done fit. Okay, I'll move into this management, Kshatriya. And according to your service, you are then getting your duties prescribed. Because that's basically Varnashram. You have religious duties, prescription, how to go back to college in this way.
All right.
So you come fit in and you just choose. And then you fit, okay, this is what I do. And then you follow that. It should not be so difficult.
Yeah, I resonate with all that you're saying. Why don't you make this, approach the GBC for all of this?
Well, I got one reply from, he was the head of the GBC, Swami from Chennai.
Okay.
He said, Varnashram is implemented by Kshatriyas. They enforce the rules. People must follow. But then how can you have a king within a country where there is already a government that was not agreeing with your rules? You have a kingdom within a kingdom.
Okay.
He was saying that basically because of those difficulties, you only take elements. I couldn't say anything. Because I have great respect for his knowledge.
Yeah, but if that is the situation, what about our communities?
Yeah, that would mean we cannot have city because Kshatriyas live in cities. We can only have farms. You can be like a sub-Kshatriya like Nandavala is, but not like facing Kansa with your army, because he sits in the city. So I would that would be my reply. But
see, that was recently.
All this week, very long ago, when he was still, he's getting very old now. 95, no, not even that. 2015, 16, when I was in Chennai hearing his class.
Okay.
This question. He was then at the time.
Yeah. I think he's still in Chennai.
Yeah, he likes to stay in Chennai. He's a great astrologer, by the way. So love astrology.
Yeah. He does a lot of things. Very scholarly. Doing all of these translations of the Goswami's books and other things. So he's a special gift.
He's a real yogi.
Special gift to ISKCON. Anupama, thank you very much for sharing. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sisi Gauranitai ki jai.